Today, we are digging deep, and I mean literally deep, into the geology of the world's biggest silver megadeposits to figure out a wild secret, why the largest of these mines are almost completely invisible. And our guide for this journey is a fantastic conference by geologist Carlos Altamirano-Morales, which he gave at the 22nd Peruvian Congress of Geology in Lima.
All right, so let's get right into it. When I say the words megamine, what's the first thing that you picture? I'm guessing it's probably something, well, mega, something huge.
Yeah, we think of these gigantic open-pit mines, right? Like the Chuquicamata copper mine in Chile, a crater so massive you can actually see it from space. But then you look at the world's #1 silver producer, the Fresnillo district in Mexico, and it just looks like farmland. The real action is totally hidden from sight.
And that's the whole key right there. These aren't giant scoops taken out of the surface. No. These are incredible, complex networks of tunnels that are chasing these deep, narrow veins of silver ore that snake for miles and miles and miles under the ground. It's a totally different kind of giant, an invisible one.
And just look at the numbers here, they really tell the story. You combine the output from its operations, and the Fresnillo district was the single biggest silver producer in the world in 2023. All of that incredible wealth, all of those millions of ounces, coming from a place that if you were just walking by, you'd never even know was there.
So this all brings up a really fascinating puzzle. If these massive silver deposits are so hard to even see, what makes this metal so important anyway? And why is finding a chunk of it that's actually worth mining such a unique geological challenge?
Well, first things first, we need silver. It's absolutely essential. And I'm not just talking about jewelry and coins. Half of all the silver we use goes into industry. It's got these amazing antibacterial properties, so it's used to coat things like medical catheters. And it's a fantastic conductor, which makes it a crucial ingredient in the solar panels that are powering our green energy future.
Okay, so you hear all that, and then you learn that geologically, silver is about 35 times more common in the Earth's crust. So you'd think, great, it's super useful and there's a lot of it around. Finding it should be pretty easy, right? Well, this is where it gets tricky.
Because here's the paradox. Even though it's way more common, silver is way less valuable than gold. We're talking about 85 times less expensive per ounce. And that economic reality, that huge price gap, creates a massive headache for the geologist trying to find it.
What this means, and this is the crucial point, is that for a silver deposit to be worth the time and money to actually dig up, nature has to do something extraordinary. It has to concentrate that silver in a way that's more than twice as efficient as what's needed for gold. It needs a much rarer, much more powerful geological process to make it happen.
So how in the world does that even happen? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the incredibly specific and incredibly rare geological recipe that created a monster deposit like Fresnillo. What is it that makes this one spot so special?
The secret is in something called an epithermal vein system. The best way to think about it is like a giant, ancient plumbing system buried deep in the Earth's crust. You've got super hot, mineral-packed water blasting up through cracks, and as it starts to cool down, it drops its payload, leaving behind veins literally filled with treasure.
But to get a system on the scale of Fresnillo, you need a literal perfect storm of geological events happening in just the right order. First, you need a massive continental collision that creates deep scars in the crust. Then, millions of years later, you need that same crust to get stretched apart, ripping those old wounds back open. Then, you need an injection of unusually rich silver-loaded fluids. And finally, and this is key, the whole system needs to get buried and protected by younger rocks, basically putting it in a time capsule for 30 million years.
So you see, Fresnillo's secret isn't just one thing. It's the insane combination of all these factors at once. It has the right foundation sitting on the super thick crust. It's got the perfect address, located right on top of that ancient tectonic scar. And it had the perfect timing, getting injected with these rich fluids and then being perfectly preserved for tens of millions of years. It's just so unlikely.
And that incredible, almost impossible geology, it hasn't just created a world-class mine. It has forged a place with a deep, powerful, and, as you'll see, an incredibly resilient human story.
Yeah, this is not some new discovery. The Fresnillo district was founded all the way back in 1554. Think about that. It's been mined without stopping for 470 years. And a huge turning point in its modern story came in 1975 with the discovery of the first big, blind vein, one that never even reached the surface. That was the moment they proved the biggest treasures were still hidden, waiting to be found.
Now, if you Google Fresnillo today, you're going to see a lot of tough stories about violence. But, as Altamirano-Morales really makes a point to say, that is a very, very recent part of its story. The true soul of this place was forged over almost 5 centuries of hard work, of community, and of incredible resilience.
And that's because this isn't some fly-in, fly-out operation where workers just show up for a few weeks. Oh no, over 80% of the people who work at the mine live right there, in the city, with their families. Their kids go to the local schools. The mine's past, its present, and its future are completely woven into the fabric of the community. It's not just a job site, it's home. So really, the story of Fresnillo is this amazing reminder that sometimes the biggest, most important giants are the ones we can't even see. And it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you're looking out over some quiet, ordinary field, what incredible story of geology, history, and human spirit might be hiding right there, just beneath the surface?